Hey guys, it's your girl again, Patience Noah Fuller, and welcome back to Entrepreneurship Tea, where we are ditching the tea on entrepreneurship. Okay, I'm here to share my journey with you, the missed opportunities, because sometimes if you don't handle those missed opportunities, they become failures, and your brain can just keep playing them at a loop. Okay, so we're talking about those and how we can manage them, and then also we're sharing our successes, be it big, small, gigantic, whatever it is. Okay. We're sharing those. Eventually I'm gonna bring my friends and some of my clients on here for them to share their experiences with us as well, so that it can inspire you who are aspiring to be an entrepreneur, or those of you guys that are in the trenches right now and you're struggling and you feel alone and things like that, so that you guys know that others have gone through these struggles and they have, you know, persevered and gone through them, and they have a practice or a business that's thriving right now. Okay, so that's the whole point of entrepreneurship. And then also throughout this, I'm sharing my experience with you as an entrepreneur, because I own an independent agency called Patience Noah Insurance, where about 86% of our businesses, our book consists of small to mid-sized businesses, and where we're doing general liability, workers' comp, professional liability, group benefits to businesses, and also we help individuals that are looking for auto and home policies as well. So if you haven't done so, check out Patience Noah Insurance. And if you are in the Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Jersey, Pennsylvania area, give me a call. Okay, give me a call. If you own a business and you need a business policy, give me a call, and I would love to work with you. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, now the other video last time I talked about how I started small and things like that. Okay, and I really did start like small. Okay, started off in my apartment, and then eventually, as things went along, I went on to open an office. Okay, so now I have an office and I have 3 support staff with the hope of bringing on the 4th one soon. Okay, so because I have an extensive insurance background, okay, I've been in insurance since 2013. Okay, 2013. Can you believe that? That's a long time. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's been a long time. And also because of my past corporate experience, I knew the type of company that I wanted to have. Okay, I wanted to build a commercial lines. We call it commercial lines insurance agency. Okay, so 86% of my book right now is small to mid-sized businesses. So let's talk about like how I went about getting clients and things like that in the beginning. Okay, when I started my business, I started what we call a scratch agency. A scratch agency is basically you're starting your business from scratch. And at the time, everybody was telling me, like, nobody starts an agency like that anymore, which is true. It really is true. Like, nobody starts an agency like that anymore, because there are certain models that you can follow. You can do a franchise model, right, where you're taking on like a larger company's name and you're representing them. Okay, or you can purchase an agency from someone. You can work under someone for a few years, and if they're about to retire, they can pass the business down to you. They can sell it to you, right? Or there's just so many models out there, but I chose to do a scratch agency. Why? I don't know, because I like difficult things, I guess. But I started a scratch agency. I started my agency from scratch. So yeah. So I started my agency, started off as a captive representing one insurance company, okay? And then I decided that model wasn't it for me. And then I transitioned to owning an independent insurance agency, okay? So as an independent agency owner, I did auto and home, mostly auto and home for a while. And then I was like, okay, this is a lot of work, okay? And I was just like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to forego auto and home altogether, but I'm just going to do less of it. Okay. So I started doing more, like I started marketing towards more business owners. Okay. Now, what I would do, I would go to a lot of networking events. I mean, like I was doing like events maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. I was out there going to networking events, anything you see, like I was out there. Like I was really out there. Okay. When I first, like the first 2 to 3 years, I was outside, going to a lot of events. And then also, because I did a really good job at building my brand during COVID while everybody was stuck inside. I was doing a lot of marketing online and things like that. I was taking advantage of social media, doing marketing online and things like that. A lot of people had heard about my agency. And then also I would market myself to like communities, right? I would go to like community leaders and ask them if I can go and talk about my business with them, okay, or make presentations at their community like events and things like that. Or I will be networking with like CPAs and like tax preparers. So basically any consultant that was helping people start businesses, right? Those were the people that I would basically slide in their DMs, or like go to their office and tell them about what I do and try to see if they have clients that need my help and things like that. Okay. So I was really out there. I was really networking with people. I was connecting with people. So there was a lot of that going on with me in the beginning. And then also my first commercial client, okay, Rose Shannon. Shout out to Rose. Rose and I, we've been writing. I mean, like we knew each other like prior to owning businesses together. But Rose and I think we started our business the same year. When I went independent, that's when Rose opened her home healthcare insurance agency. Okay, so listen. For those of you out there that own a home healthcare business and you need to do business with someone who specializes in home healthcare, listen, give me a call. Okay, give this girl a call. I've been doing home healthcare for the last like 4 years, and that's all because Rose gave me an opportunity. Okay, I knew Rose in the community. She used to be Miss Liberia Boston, so that's how I knew her. So they trained me to become Miss Liberia Boston, and my pageant. We'll talk about my pageant experience like another time. Okay. So she opened her business and then she came to me. She was like, hey, can I get insurance through you? I was like, sure, let me help you. At the time, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Honestly, I had no clue what I was doing. Okay. So let me pause and talk about that. So when you get started, obviously you have no idea what you're doing. So find people that will be patient with you, that you can trust, for you to sort of like go through that, like, I wouldn't call it a mistake, learning curve. That's what I would call it. So that you can go through that learning curve with them. And Rose was really patient with me because when she came to me, I didn't have any knowledge about like her industry or how to go about like getting a policy for her. But I asked around, and I think it took us about like 2 months for us to put a policy in place for her. And she was waiting on me for the certificate for her to try to get a contract, and it was just taking forever. Okay. But she was very patient with me. Rose, thank you for being patient with me, for exercising patience, for giving me the opportunity, because obviously now we've both come a long way in our business. And girl, I would love to have you on this podcast so you can come and share your experience with people, because I know you have a great story. So if you're watching this, just know you're going to be one of the people on this podcast. By force, by fire, by force. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay. But Rose gave me an opportunity. And after we were done writing her policy, I told her, I was like, hey, Rose, can you connect me with the person who helped you start your business? Because the same person that helped her start her business was the same person that was helping her get a contract. So she was like, yeah, I'll connect you with Sharon. So she connected me with Sharon. Sharon and we got on the phone. We talked. We hit it off right away. And guess what? For the last 4 years, Sharon has been sending all her clients to me. Every single one of them. So that's why most of my book has majority business owners, okay? Because Sharon would send these clients to me. So when I started, I would deal with people that are brand new, like 0 to 3 years of experience as business owners. Those are the people that I was dealing with in the beginning, okay? Because of Sharon, because once she helps them create their EIN number, Guess who she sends them to? Me. So she's like, you know what? Patience knows how to handle the insurance stuff. Give her a call and she will put the insurance together for you. And then I will put an insurance policy together. Now, obviously, in the beginning, I really didn't have a lot of idea of what I was doing, but I would call around, and until I started to get better at it, until I started to get faster at it, until I started to understand the process, until I started to understand what goes into writing a business policy and things like that. Now, obviously, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I don't want to lie to anybody to say that it was perfect in the beginning. No, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I lost a lot of clients along the way because I was taking way too long to respond to them. And I think I wasn't being responsive. Like my responsiveness, it just wasn't on point in the beginning at all. I just wasn't being responsive in the beginning because I just didn't know what I was doing. Okay. Some clients were patient. They held on. So I was able to navigate, getting them a policy in place and things like that. And as time went on, I got better. So I've actually been doing the home health care class code because most of what Sharon does is she helps people start a home health care business, and then she helps them get contracts. Okay. So once Rose put me in touch with her, she and we just clicked and we started doing business together. And we've been doing business together for the last 4 years. Okay. So I started off like that, and I started off small. Now, obviously, now that I'm 4 years into it, right? So there were a few things that I've realized, and I think that's really what inspired me, or what really moved me to start this podcast, because I deal with a lot of people that are going into business, right? And that are thinking that, you know what, once I open this business, I'm going to start making money right away and blah, 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 and all of that, right? And then when you ask them, do you have a plan in place? Do you have a business plan in place? Or do you just do you have an idea how you're going to generate revenue and things like that? And then they'll be like, no. Well, guess what? How are you going to find clients? How are you going to keep the lights on? How are you going to do that? And there's a lot of people that I speak to that just they have no clue. They don't have that step. And I think that's why they said that, I don't know the exact number, but most businesses, most small businesses that get started, they close within the first 5 years. Okay. Because folks don't have a plan. You don't have a written plan as to how you're going to go about getting revenue into your company, your agency, your shop, whatever it is, right? How are you going to get a customer? How are you going to get people coming into the door to give you more money for you to meet up with expenses and things like that? So you have a lot of people that start off with a lot of expenses, and then later on, they just get overwhelmed with all of it, okay? And then they end up closing. So when Sharon used to send these, those who were brand new into business, when she used to send them to me, of course, because I was new into the business, I would just write them. But then I was realizing that within 3 to 6 months, they will call me, they will cancel, they will stop responding to me, and their policy will lapse. And for us in the insurance industry, we have this thing called chargeback. Now, there are some companies that they will pay you on an as earned commission. So basically, as you, the customer, pay them your premium on a monthly basis, they will give us commissions. But then there are some companies that pay you all the commissions upfront. Okay. So if the client cancels at any point during the policy, you have to return the commission to them. Okay. So because I was new in the business, I was writing all these new folks. Guess what? They were canceling after 3 to 6 months. One, that looks really bad for business for me, right? The carriers that I was working with, that does not look good for their books. It was just a hot mess in the beginning. Super hot mess. So what I started to do, I started to catch on to it, right? So when Sharon sends people to me, or just anybody new that's going into business, when they come to me, they're like, oh, Patience, I want you to get me an insurance policy and I want you to get it to me now. Especially with those that I know, like, their insurance prices are ridiculous, right? For those of you guys that are in transportation, I know transportation insurance is ridiculous. Just the auto price alone, okay, can buy someone a house. Just the auto price when it comes to transportation. And when I say transportation, I'm talking about those that are in trucking, taxi drivers, the Uber guys, all of those. Like, it's expensive. Like, just the auto policy alone is super expensive. Now, when you add the general liability, and then also if you have employees, if you add the workers' comp, it's a lot of money for a business to pay for, like, right off the bat, right? So before, instead of just pushing policies in front of people, now when someone says, hey, I'm opening this business, I ask them, what are your plans? Like, what plans do you have in generating revenue? And then I'll give them an estimate, especially now for me, since I'm so familiar with the home healthcare industry, because I've done so well with that class now, right? Most people, they've started referring me to their friends and their colleagues now. So once they come to me, especially if they're new, once they come to me, I ask them questions like, how do you plan on like getting like enough clients or revenue for you to pay your expenses, right? That's the question that I ask. I don't push policies in front of them anymore. I try to learn about their business, okay? I try to learn about the things that they should know. And I try to give them my feedback, give them advice on the things that they should expect, because I've been dealing with home health care guys for the last 4 years. Some started with zero and they're doing very well. Their revenues are like, they're generating a lot of revenues now. And then some, they closed down within like 2 to 3 months because they couldn't afford it, right? So now I tell them, hey, listen, this is what you're expecting. This is the insurance. Do you have a plan in place so that if you are not making enough money for the next 12 months, you can consistently pay your insurance bill, right? And if they don't have an answer for me, I usually tell them, why don't you go home and really think about, or why don't you really think about this? Think if this is really what you want to do, right? Because yes, this lady, especially if the clients that are coming to me from Sharon, yes, Sharon is going to help you get, appointments for you to get your foot into the door. But what are the plans for you to keep getting clients? She's going to, like, what are your plans for you to keep getting clients beyond her, right? So these are the level of conversations that I have with businesses now, right? So most businesses make that mistake of, okay, I'm going to come into this and I'll start making money so I can cover all the expenses that I'm going to have in my company. That's not true. Sometimes you may have to absorb that expense for several years, okay? Before you start becoming profitable, for you to be able to comfortably, meet your expenses and things like that, okay? So if you're coming into business, think about your expenses. Talk to someone who has done that business before and try to get an idea of what expenses are, so you know on a monthly basis, what dollar amount do I need to be making on a regular basis for me to be able to meet my expenses, okay? Before you even talk about profit, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not meeting your expense, the stress from that can cause you to close your business altogether, right? So yeah, so these are the level of conversations that I have with people now. So now I'm at the stage where I'm attracting medium or mid-sized, clients. I'm talking about those who, and I think this varies, like the threshold of like middle market or mid-sized businesses and things like that. It varies from agency to agency, from companies to companies and things like that. But I'm definitely attracting those who have like 100+ employees now, right? Versus those who have like employees under 50 or under 10 and things like that. Like I'm attracting those with 100+ employees, or they may have multiple locations in other states and things like that. So those are the type of clients that I'm starting to attract now. But when I started, it was within that 0 to 3 year mark. Those are the people that I was working with, right? And then once I got to the stage that I felt like, okay, I understand my business. I understand, now I started to market more towards those who've been in business for more than 3 years, right? Those are the people that I'm mostly doing business with now. And as time goes on, who knows? Maybe I will graduate to the point where I'm doing business with large organizations or large corporations. You never know. The future is bright. Okay. So that's basically how I started with getting customers. I was out in the community. I was out making sure that people knew about me, people know about my brand, advertising to people, leaving my business card around to people, asking people if they can refer me. Okay. And then also just any opportunity, any publication opportunity that was available, I was taking advantage of it. Anyone that would request for me to be on their podcast, I was there. Anyone that would request for me to be on their live, I was there. So basically, I was just everywhere, trying to market myself, trying to market my brand, trying to market my business. Listen, your business is going to work if you work, right? Meaning you have to be out there, advertising yourself, selling yourself, so that people can hear about your business, so that they want to do business with you. Okay, so that's how I went about getting my clients. So now I'm at the stage where I have an appointment setter, someone who calls businesses and try to do that preliminary work for me. Okay, preliminary work. They do that preliminary work for me, and then I come on a call and try to close the deal. For me, my approach to sales is more of a relationship. So I try to really learn about their business and see if there's an opportunity for us to do business together. And if the opportunity is not there, at least the introduction has been made. And, I asked them, can I keep in touch with you and things like that? And my team and I were generating marketing ideas for us to frequently be out in front of people, for them to know about our business, for them to know about our brands, for them to know about the products that we carry within the agency, for them to do business with us. Although I haven't been out as much recently to do business, I do calls. Most of the clients that I talk to, we either meet on Zoom or I give them a call and just pitch to them about the things that I do within the agency and things like that. Now that the weather is getting warm, I will probably start attending networking events again, usually during the summertime, between the summer months until October, November. That's when all the events are happening and things like that. So that's when I try to be out there at the networking events. Okay. But yeah, if you're starting out there as a business, definitely market yourself. If you're a shy person, get out of your comfort zone. I don't think anybody is born with certain skills or anything like that. You just learn as you go along. I was one of those shy people, and I used to be so uncomfortable talking about my business, selling my business to people, right? Because my fear was, are they gonna think that I think I'm too much, or I think I'm talking too much about myself and things like that? No, people need to know what you do. And even till now, I still need to get better at that. I still shy away from selling myself. A lot of people still don't know what I do. I have to be my own billboard. I tell that to myself all the time, right? Even though I still have room to grow, but there's a lot of things I've done right? That's why I'm still 5 years into it. I'm still here, right? But there's a lot of things in terms of marketing myself. There's a lot of things that I've done right? So you have to get yourself out there. You have to step out of your comfort zone, and you have to market yourself. Listen, I know people are mean on social media. Sometimes people in the beginning, they'll say, oh, who does she think she is? She's over here, you're always posting yourself. And then I used to be so offended if people don't reshare my flyers, if people don't comment about myself, about my business when I post it on my social media and things like that. I used to get so offended and things like that. Don't take it personal. Just keep posting. Trust me, people are watching. They may not hit or they may not support you right away. They're watching. Some people want to know how long, let's see how long she's going to last before I start doing business with her. So you got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because people are watching. If there's one thing I can tell you today, people are watching. They may not be responding, but they're watching behind the scenes. They're watching and watching and watching. Okay. So because of the consistency, I'm always posting something. And honestly, this is so funny. If I post a selfie of myself not talking about business, you will be surprised how much engagement I get compared to like if I post something about like the business that I do. Right? Before, I used to be so offended because I'm like, I have all these followers, I have all these people in my community. How come they're not supporting me when I post something and things like that? It's okay. Like, it's okay, because not everybody is out there is supposed to be a customer. Think about that. Not everybody is supposed to be a customer, one. And it's okay if people don't support. Because at the end of the day, you will eventually find out your customer base. You'll get to the point where you will develop your customer base. You'll know who your customers are, right? And then you'll start marketing towards them. And then also you will know who your supporters are as you go forward. Listen, if I tell you that when I started, everyone in my community or everybody in my family or everybody like was on board with me, I'll be lying to you. Not all my friends supported me in the beginning, not all of them. But now I have a huge support system. People see my perseverance over the years and my consistency and my resilience going through like COVID and things like that. And now, not all of them are my customer, but I know a lot of them like are definitely inspired by the things that I'm doing, even though they don't understand in totality what it is that I'm doing as an insurance agency owner. I think a lot of them respect me because at the end of the day, I'm still going, right? So you got to think about it like that. Don't be offended. Just keep going and keep posting your flyers, keep posting your videos and things like that. You know, I'm talking to myself because I've been like a little discouraged lately because I'm like, are these people watching these videos? But no, keep posting, because at the end of the day, people are watching and eventually they will come on board, okay? So if you're new to Entrepreneurship Tea, I want you to subscribe, hit the notification button, like, share with someone that you think will learn from this video. The whole point of this is for us to help each other grow, okay? Millionaire status may not come overnight, but however, we can help each other thrive and eventually we'll become millionaires, okay? Those who are large corporations, who are millionaires, they all started off as a small business just like you and I. Every single one of them started off small, just like you and I. It started with an idea that grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and eventually is a global corporation or is whatever corporation it is out there, okay? So don't give up. Keep supporting, keep pushing, keep waking up, and just keep pushing, okay? That's my advice to you. But I hope you learned something from today's video. And again, if you're a business out there, I would love to do business with you. Give us a call at Patience Noah Insurance. Our number is listed below, or listen, I can call it out. It's 508-321-2083, 508-321-2083, or you can visit our website, www.patience.com, okay? Or just type Patience Noah Insurance out there. It's going to pop up. Trust me. There's a lot of information out there about us. It's going to pop up. Patience Noah Insurance. And just, do business with us. Why have you done business with us? But anyways, I hope to see you next time in the next video. Okay? Bye-bye.